Hello children. Today I'm going to talk about the poem Keeping Quiet, the third poem from your book Flamingo. It's written by the poet Pablo Neruda. Now the title of the poem Keeping Quiet suggests that the poet wants us to be quiet. Quiet, still, without any movement. To do what? To introspect and retrospect. To give yourself time to think what are we doing. And what is the result of the activities, the actions that we carry on, and how sad we are because we do not know what makes us happy. That's what he concludes. Okay, I'll begin the poem. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. He says we will count till 12 and we will all keep still. Still means without any movement, because if you are going to move your hands and your legs, then your attention may be diverted. He wants you to concentrate, think, reflect. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Speaking in any language means creating differences, because even if it's English is spoken, the English that's spoken in America and that which is spoken in England or India, the different accents, it would be creating differences. One would know, well, he's an American and he's an Indian. He wants everybody to be same. Just human beings and nothing else. No labels whatsoever. So he says, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second. Stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Arm movement also he doesn't want. All activity and all talking, all conversation, all movement he wants us to cease. Just to concentrate on that which is in our mind, think over, reflect over, that's all. Now I go to the next paragraph. It would be an exotic moment. When would be it an exotic moment? When there is no activity. There is no movement. Everybody is silent. Now, exotic means strange and unique. We've never experienced that kind of a moment. The environment where nobody is moving, nobody is talking. So it would be an exotic, strange, unique kind of a moment. And during that time, there would be no rush, nobody hurrying, rushing to complete their work, rushing to reach their destination, and without any engines. There'll be no engines. Engines means if there are engines, there would be sound there. So there'll be no noise. There'll be no rush, no noise, nothing. So therefore, that kind of a moment would be an exotic moment, a strange and unique moment. And we all will be together. We all will be together. He wants togetherness. He wants just us to be feeling we are all human beings without any differences of race and caste and community and all kinds of things. Nothing. We're just human beings. The same feelings and the same emotions. That's what he wants us. So, and we all would be together. Togetherness. There'll be togetherness. There'll be understanding. And in a sudden strangeness. It would be all in a sudden strangeness. Suddenly we quiet. It would be so strange because we have never experienced that kind of a thing. I repeat the paragraph. It would be an exotic moment, strange and unique moment, without rush. During that moment, an exotic moment, there'll be no rush, nobody running and hurrying. There'll be no engines, therefore there'll be no noise of the engines, no movement of the engines. We all would be together. Remember the word together. Together, not separation, together. We all as human beings would be together with the same feelings, same sentiments and same emotions in a sudden strangeness. Suddenly we would be quiet and it would be a strange moment because we are not used to it. And then what would happen? Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. Whales are symbolic of nature. And cold sea, cold could be symbolic of insensitivity. The fishermen are insensitive and they don't mind harming or killing the whales. Or you could take it as whales, I told you, was nature. Fishermen could be human beings. That means human beings are so insensitive that they don't mind harming nature. Literal meaning is the fishermen in the sea cold sea would not harm any whales. Whales symbolize nature. Cold symbolizes insensitivity. That means human beings would be sensitive enough and not harm nature. Okay. And the man gathering salt. Then the next image is a man who is gathering salt. He's putting his hands in salt water. He would stop his activity. He would stop gathering salt. And then he would get time to look at his hands. Now he would realize, my goodness, what have I done to my hands? This kind of an activity, this kind of work that I'm doing, what is it doing? It is harming my hands. And before that, he did not realize. Why did he not realize? Because he had no time to do that. He continued with his work, with his work, with his work. When you're working, you don't realize it. And later on, when you have time, you look at your hands, my goodness. What the kind of activity, the kind of work that I'm doing, what has it done to my hands? So when you cease all activity, when you stop talking, what would happen? The man killing whales would stop killing whales. Or that's the literal meaning. The other meaning is that human beings who are harming nature would be sensitive and they would not harm nature. And the man who's gathering salt from the salty sea would get time to look at his hands. Get it? Now, these lines again are very important. Those who prepare green wars. Children, green wars are symbolic of wars against nature. Wars with gaseous wars, the chemical kind of wars, chemical gases. And the third kind of wars is war with fire. That means firearms. Now, here, the important word you need to understand is preparing. Nobody is fighting wars. Please, the children, write that. Fighting wars. No, they are not fighting wars. Those who are preparing to harm nature, greenery. Green wars means harming nature, wars against nature. Those with gases, those people who are preparing for these kind of wars, what they would do? They would have a realization that the kind of wars that we are preparing for, what would be the outcome of that war? Victory with no survivors. Even if we are victorious, there'll be no survivors left to celebrate the victory. Why would there be no survivors? Because, please write that down, because in this kind of war, in the process of killing others, we ourselves will get killed. In the process of killing others, we ourselves will get killed. Let's talk about green wars. If we are going to harm the greenery all around, what would happen? What would happen? Are we not killing ourselves? The gaseous chemical wars that we are preparing for, what would happen? The atomic weapons and all that and all. What would happen? In the process of killing others, we ourselves would get killed. And this is the realization that would dawn on them. They would understand when they cease to prepare for such kind of wars. And what would they do then? Would put on clean clothes. Clean clothes, it doesn't mean, mind you, literal meaning is that they were wearing dirty clothes and they are going to change the clothes and clean. No, beta. Would put on clean clothes. Clean clothes means a positive attitude. These people who are preparing to harm others, who are preparing to destroy, bring about destruction, they would put on a positive attitude. Clean clothes, positive attitude, and walk about with their brothers in shade. Shade means a harmonious atmosphere, a congenial atmosphere, where there is understanding, where there is compassion, where there is love for the brothers. Now, brothers, remember, brotherhood of man and fatherhood of God. Right? So we all are brothers. Right? Therefore, we will walk with our brothers, means the people, humanity, human beings, we will walk with them In shade, doing nothing. We'll not do anything. We'll not talk. We'll not do anything. Just quietly move. In shade, shade means a positive atmosphere, a friendly atmosphere, a congenial atmosphere where there's understanding, there's love for each other, that kind of an atmosphere. These lines are important, children. I would like to repeat it again. Those who prepare for wars, those who are preparing for wars, they'll put on clean clothes. Clean clothes means a positive attitude, and they would just simply walk with their brothers, with the fellow human beings. In shade, shade is a friendly, congenial atmosphere, doing nothing. And then perhaps the understanding would develop. That isn't written, but the inner meaning is understanding. We were preparing to kill these people. The kind of wars that we were preparing for, to kill all these people, that understanding perhaps would develop. Then the next paragraph. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Total inactivity means do nothing. The poet is trying to give an explanation. I'm not saying you cease all activity, don't do anything. I'm not saying that. Just for a short while, pause, don't do anything, and think, reflect. That's what he's saying. It should not be confused with total inactivity, completely not to do anything, cease all activity, I'm not going to do anything. It's harming, okay, I'll not do anything. That's what it is. Life is what it is about. Life is activity. Life is progress. Life is movement. So how could you stop doing anything? You have to do it. But for a short while, pause. For a short while, reflect. Give yourself time to think, to introspect and retrospect. Life is what it is about. That's an important line. Life is all activity. Life is all movement. Life is all progress. So he says, I'm not saying you cease all activity forever. I want no truck with death. I want no truck with the death. Truck with death means I don't want to be associated with inactivity. I am not professing, I am not advocating inactivity. I don't mean, again he says, I don't mean that you stop all work forever. If we were, now there's a full stop there. Okay. Death could mean stillness or inactivity here. I don't want. That means you don't say that I am saying that there should be no activity and there should be stillness and all that. That's what I'm saying. I'm just for a short while, I want to be quiet. And then there's a full stop there. And then if we were not so single-minded is, children, self-centered, focused, or selfish. We are right around now, you look around and find out how we are self-centered. If we see an accident on the road, what happens, children? We'll get late, so we won't bother to get down and help the injured man on the road. Are we not self-centered? What is important? If you are late to office or school, whatever it is, but what is your priority should be to help the dying man. No. We are self-centered. We wish to reach the place, doesn't matter, somebody else would take care of the man. So we are self-centered, single-minded, focused. About keeping our lives moving. We wish to move in the direction. That's what I single-minded. I want to go to school. I should be on time. Doesn't matter if the man is injured. Somebody else would take care. I'm not concerned. That kind of an attitude. We want to be doing that which is doing, just pursuing without seeing what is happening left and right. And for once could do nothing. For once, for a short while, would do nothing, and perhaps a huge silence, and they'll be all silent. Everybody would be silent, doing nothing. And this huge silence, why huge silence? Because everybody would be silent. Might, again a very important line, might interrupt this sadness. We are sad. Why are we sad? Because we don't understand ourselves. We do not understand what makes us happy. We don't understand that. And therefore we are sad. Deep down in us we are sad. Again, refer to my previous video, A Thing of Beauty, wherein I had said that we are sad. And how do we know we are sad? Because we have laughter clubs, for instance. Why do we have our laughter clubs? That means we don't laugh naturally. There's nothing to make us happy and laugh. So we artificially, since laughter is the best medicine, and therefore we laugh artificially. Laughter clubs all over the city, everywhere. They gather and they all have all kinds of laughter, Ravan aise hasta tha, and so on and so forth. Artificial laughter, because we are not happy. Nothing makes us happy. We don't know what is happiness. How do we become happy? What gives us happiness? And therefore he says, interrupt this sadness. Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness. What sadness? Sadness of never understanding ourselves. What gives us happiness? What gives us joy? And of threatening ourselves with death. Are we not this kind of lifestyle that we are leading? The self-centered, focused lifestyle, deprived of all joy and happiness. Is it not threatening us with death? Not the immediate death, maybe somebody shoots you and all that. No, but gradually. What about the diseases that we have to face? The young people, think of that. Gradually we are destroying ourselves because we do not know what makes us happy. And what are we doing? We are pursuing, we are running after temporary things that give us happiness. I'll go and have a cup of ice cream or some kind of a thing and it will make me happy. Well, yes, it could make you happy for a few minutes. But after that, again you wish something else to get so that that makes you happy. But that doesn't make you happy. So you do not know what is the real happiness. And that is why you are sad. Now, till now, and not only sad, you are gradually destroying yourself, threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps now, till now, the poet is on a very pessimistic note, a negative note. It is harming us and we are destroying ourselves and we are sad and this and that and that. And in the last paragraph, last 5 lines, he strikes an optimistic note. Till now he is pessimistic. But towards the end he said, no, doesn't matter. Not everything is over. Not everything is over. There's still hope. There's still hope. And I read the lines. Perhaps the earth can teach us. Earth is symbolic of nature, children. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. The earth can teach us when everything seems dead. Dead is hopeless, without any hope, in such a bad condition. Now, when is the earth dead? When there is no hope, no hope. Okay, dead is no hope. But then if you were to take the earth, during the summers the earth cracks because there's no water there. Since the earth cracks and it's all absolutely dry, what happens is that all the grass and the small little plants that are there, they die. Therefore the earth is dead. Yes, you see the cracks in the earth, there is no grass, the grass had died, small little plants, I'm not talking about the big trees, small little plants, they die. So that kind of earth is known as dead earth. There's no hope, no hope. But then, and later proves to be alive. When does it become alive? When there is grass, when there are small little plants come up. Now what happens suddenly? Earth is dry and then suddenly it becomes dry and it's termed as dead, hopeless, and then suddenly it becomes alive. What happens? When the dry, during the summers, there's no water there and the grass and the small little plants dry. Okay, and with the first shower of rain, what do you see? The greenery all around. It becomes alive. The earth was dead when everything dried up. There were cracks in the earth because there's no water there. And with the first shower of rain, what happens? Life springs up. There are small little plants, there's greenery all around. So that's where it is alive. So he ends the poem on a optimistic note. He said, doesn't matter. Things are bad, very bad. We are sad and we are killing ourselves, this and that. But still there is hope. But still there is hope. And what gives us hope? Nature. Remember, a thing of beauty, John Keats talks about nature. He also talks about nature. Nature symbolizes hope. There's still hope there. So if we could change, if we could introspect and retrospect, realize the follies that we are doing, the mistakes that we are doing, if that realization dawns on us, certainly we would be able to bring good times. We would change. We would realize how we can be happy. And for this, he asks us to be quiet for a while. Introspect and retrospect. Think, what am I doing? What will I be doing in future? What have I done in past? And then perhaps some kind of a change could be brought about. A change in ourselves. Change towards the other human beings. The understanding would develop and perhaps we will be happy. And therefore he says, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. Now there's a big question, why 12? Twice I've seen this in the paper, why 12? Why not 24 something? Perhaps 12 hours of the day, that he means, or maybe 12 months of the year. I'm not very sure about it, but this is the answer that I get. 12 hours of the day, 12 symbolizes 12 hours of the day, or 12 could symbolize 12 months of the year. So I suppose, children, you've understood the poem. Please go through it. And in my next video, perhaps I would be discussing the question answers of this poem. And next video, I'll try to do Aunt Jennifer. Next poem, I'll do the question answers of this and then do Aunt Jennifer. And after that, after I've finished it all the poems, I plan to do the writing skills too. I suppose you would need a revision in the writing skills, because writing skills, you've done it in the 11th class. In the 12th, you have hardly any time to discuss them. You can the most revise them. So I'll try to revise with you. Thank you, children. Thank you for watching.